My name is Madeleine Manno, and I am from Walpole, Massachusetts. I am a junior at Fontbonne Academy, and I am a regional director for Region 3 of the Yellow Tulip Project. I'm a storytelling alchemist, and I'm also a part of the outreach team. So today I'm going to be sharing my story with you, and all that I ask is that you just listen with an open mind and an open heart. So imagine drowning. Unable to breathe, unable to grasp onto relief, surrounded by cold, thick water, unable to reach the surface. This is what my anxiety feels like. However, I've realized that there's an art to this drowning because after so many years of feeling like I was drowning and still feeling like I'm drowning sometimes, I realized that I can save myself and that I can come up out of this dark water and see the light and be able to swim and live my life the way I want to live it. So I was first diagnosed with anxiety when I was in 5th grade, and this is when I realized my anxiety and OCD was a sort of problem for me. So I was awaiting to see who my 5th grade teacher was, and I was very, very nervous about this. I thought it was such a big deal, and I really didn't want this one teacher because I thought that she was going to be so mean and that she was going to hate me and give me such bad grades, when really she was a very nice teacher. And so when I ended up getting my letter in the mail that said she was my teacher, I immediately began break down crying. I thought that it was the end of the world. I was so nervous, and really for nothing. And that's when I realized, oh wow, I spent so much time worrying about this and being upset about this when really I learned a lot from this teacher and it wasn't that big of a deal. So that's when I went to a psychiatrist and I was diagnosed with anxiety and OCD disorder. And then shortly after, I began to pick up on some of the things that were maybe a little interesting that I did. And so, for example, I used to be very strict about routine and rules and order. And so, I feel like OCD is very often misconceived as, oh, I like everything organized and neat. And although that can be a form of it, it's not the kind of neat, like your pencils are all in a row. For me, whenever I took a shower, my hair had to go under the water like a certain amount of times. Or whenever I went to bed and I drank water at night, I had to have a certain amount of sips of water. And although that sounds kind of weird and strange, for me it was so important, and it felt like if I didn't do that, the world was going to end, something horrible was going to happen. And I was wondering, why am I like this? Why am I doing these weird things and always feeling so anxious and have such a need for control? And I, like so many other young children and teens who have a mental illness, felt so alone, and I felt like there was something wrong with me, like I needed help, like I was just so horrible, and I had such self-confidence issues because of this. But then I realized that I wasn't alone, and soon I then began to have some more self-confidence, but first came some more harder times. So I have a brother with severe autism. His name is Marcus, and he's also nonverbal. And so this in itself posed many challenges because going out in public and such, my family would always receive lots of stares or whispers, and this definitely made me feel very insecure, and I always had such anxiety about, oh my gosh, these people think me and my family are weird, or oh my gosh, there's something even more wrong with me. And then at that same time was probably one of not the best years of my life, and it was kind of my lowest moment I've experienced. And so with this, I felt very, very sad. And I wasn't sure why. I was like, why am I feeling this way? Nothing really bad has happened. And I also was not very social with people. And this was about 7th grade. And everyone saw me as this very happy-go-lucky person, very outgoing and bubbly. And this was kind of a sort of mask because I was not feeling that way when I was at home. And so I don't think anyone would have expected me to be feeling this way, but really although I never thought about killing myself, I always wondered, what would the world be like without me? Would it really change that much if I was gone? Who would care if I was gone? Would anyone even realize I was gone? And so I realized that this suicidal ideation was really not good, but I was in so much pain that I didn't know how else to feel. And I felt so alone, and it just breaks my heart that so many people like me are feeling this way, and that, there aren't many places where people can feel the hope that organizations like the Yellow Tulip Project bring. So, after feeling this very desperation and loneliness, I then became a freshman in high school, and I discovered the amazing organization, the Yellow Tulip Project. So the Yellow Tulip Project is a Maine-based organization whose mission is to smash the stigma behind mental illness. So I joined a club called Tulip Team at my school, which is a chapter of the Yellow Tulip Project. And at this point in my life, I was still very much struggling with my mental illness. I was just in a bad place. And I was a very shy, quiet girl. And when I first learned about this club, I was like, oh my goodness, this is so amazing. Finally, a place where, people won't judge me for taking medicine, going to therapy, having a mental illness. And so with that, I found such happiness and solace being a part of a community where people accepted me for who I was and helped give me hope as well as give others hope. And so that's when I became a lot more involved with the Yellow Tulip Project. I now help lead with other leaders my school's chapter of the Yellow Tulip Project. I am a regional director for the Yellow Tulip Project for Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. I'm one of the storytelling alchemists doing what I'm doing right now, sharing my story to bring hope to others, and I also help with outreach. And so by participating so much in the Yellow Tulip Project, I've found such hope, and I just want to be able to give that hope to other people because I know what it's like to be in the dark and feel so alone and sad, and like there is no hope, but there is hope, and the light does come. And so that's why I urge you all to support organizations like the Yellow Tulip Project, who are so youth-based, and it's teens like me who are experiencing very similar things like me, who are so impactful in helping bring change to this world and to the way mental illness and mental health are viewed. There are still so many stigmas behind mental illness, and so many, when someone wants to talk about mental illness, it's seen as weird or out of the ordinary, but really mental health is something we all experience. We all have our ups and our downs, but I think the most important part in helping break this stigma is by sharing our stories and talking to each other, and the Yellow Tulip Project does an amazing job with doing this. And so that's why I, again, urge you to support groups like this so that we can enact laws and certain things that help bring mental health reform, because no one should ever feel alone. And the light does come. I promise, however dark it is, it does come and it does get better. And I'm so, so thankful that I found the Yellow Tulip Project and a group of people that just support me no matter what, who are always there for me. So thank you for listening to my story, and it was such a joy and honor to be able to share it with you. And just remember that hope happens and you're never alone. Thank you.